Ladies and gentlemen, if we can all settle, we'll be starting in a few 5 minutes. Let's settle. If you haven't got breakfast, please get something at the back. We would have encouraged you to grab it with a cold one, but the time suggests otherwise. So we'll go for now. Drink water. Let's just settle and we'll be starting officially to our friends who are on Zoom. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, wherever you're watching us from, thank you so much for joining us as we launch the Inter-University Smart Drinking Challenge in really years that have stopped the entire world. Despite the pandemic, we are choosing to do what we have to do here at NBL. Allow me to first all of you to give a big round of applause to the team at NBL for staying alert even during the pandemic. Yeah? There are so many of you on Zoom. Thank you so much for joining us. I see Luke, the administrative assistant of Soroti University. Thank you for tuning in. Makalema Gladys, the administrator at Mbara University of Science and Technology. Thank you so much for also tuning in. And we also have student leaders here from the different participating universities for this challenge. You'll be hearing more about what smart drinking is about. Are you a smart drinker yourself? And we'll be making sure that we find the real definition of smart drinking. But also later we have a panel of these student leaders to talk to us about what happens in the environment of the universities or the colleges where they pursue their drinking and their study. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Joining me on stage right at my extreme left, please give a big round of applause to Professor of Psychology. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be listening. Some people say that there's something wrong that goes on when you drink. That's why we are saying, no. There's smarter drinking, all right? And we're going to be talking about that. Professor Mataji Leon from the School of Psychology at Makerere University. Next to him is Mr. Mondo Chateka from the Ministry of Gender. He is the Assistant Commissioner for Youth and Children Affairs. Welcome, sir. Next to him is Winfred Namuonge Kabumbuli, who is Dean of Students at Makerere University. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, now I have to make him my friend so that I look cool. We already now are on the same page. We're all wearing jeans. Yeah, we look the same. The Managing Director of Nile Breweries Limited. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we will be hearing from David later on. David Valencia will be talking to us. Flora. Yes, for you, what is the Smart 2021 campaign about smart drinking? People say, is it going to drink when you are dressed up very well? What does it mean exactly?
Thank you for sanitizing this microphone. Now, Brian, the smart drinking, to find out about it, first of all, these people at home have to dress up smartly. And it's still morning. They can't have their beer with them. So I could have said smart, then drinking. But bottom line, they have to wait for the big unveil, and then they'll find out about it. I'm not going to spill the beans here, Brian. No, you won't get me on this one. But thank you very much, and I'll just take it on from here. On behalf of the Nile Breweries team, I'm Flora Duke, the Communications Manager, and I would like to welcome you all to this event, where we are going big and bold. As you know, Nile Breweries is always the leader. We lead and others follow. And at Nile Breweries, we say we are mighty as the Nile. Okay? Nile Breweries, we are mighty as the Nile. So we are here with a big and bold campaign, reaching out to our young people who form part of our consumers. And we are basically saying something simple. Join us and save lives. And how we are going to do this, you're going to get to know as we go on with the event. And right now I can give it back to Brian, who will carry on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Flora is communications manager at Nile Breweries, and you'll be hearing more of that later. It's big and bold, and I'm telling you, for young people, parents, in fact, you'll find these streams. Share these with your students who have been frustrated after 2 years without, there's no semblance of the environment that they were used to. Allow me to welcome Mr. Onapito Komoloit, who is the Director of Legal and Corporate Affairs, to come and talk to us.
Our guests of honor and all the invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Flora has already indicated that we are not going to spoil the expectation, so we shall keep on postponing the reason why we are here, but we shall be still explaining in bits, in sips. On behalf of Nile Breweries once more, we are honored, we are excited, and we are lucky to have you with us this morning. So thank you very much for coming. I say we are lucky because we are in a pandemic and everyone is cautious. So when you take your time to come and join us over something that you may not entirely be sure what it is about, we don't take it for granted. So for me, I'll just try to indicate why are we here. At Nile Breweries, we believe in bringing people together for a better world. That's our dream. So when we bring you here together, it is for a better world. For a better world, specifically for young people, specifically for students at the university, and for all our stakeholders. As you all are aware, we make and sell happiness. Most people prefer to call it beer, but we know that it's happiness. So we not only bring people together, we also bring people together for happy occasions. And I think during the pandemic, we need a bit of happiness. So we are saying the product we make should always bring happiness, not sadness, not sorrow, not failure. And the purpose of this event is to underscore our commitment to ensuring that beer, something that we all know is as old as humanity, is here to stay, and we want to make sure it stays for good purpose. I come from Teso, for all of our almost Ugandans. Even David is now Ugandan. And there they say that they describe beer as the wisdom of Iteso. Achoa Iteso, for those who know the language. So we decided that if we are going to get new ideas for making sure that beer brings happiness, there is no better place to get these ideas than the temples of wisdom, and that is universities. So for so many years of our existence, this is the first time any brewery in Uganda is going to task universities to provide solutions for the issue of how do we make beer what it should be, that is a social product for happiness. We are not shy about beer at all times because we believe that the reason for which beer is being made is not to cause harm. But we're also mindful that beer, like many other products, needs to be consumed with moderation. And I think since we are talking to universities specifically, there is abundant research which is showing that a lot of things that have been consumed for centuries, for decades, are not as innocent as they are or were assumed to be. We are not going to talk about other products, but we are proud to talk about beer and to make sure that whatever is perceived to be the dark side of beer, we shine light into it, and beer continues to be a product for happiness. While this event is the first of its kind, our commitment to what is best known as responsible drinking is as old as our business. It's actually part of our business. Everything we do, responsible consumption is part and parcel of our processes. Starting from, if you right now had a bottle of beer here, you will notice that the labeling on it is as good as a pack of any medicine. We all know medicine saves lives, but there is elaborate effort to ensure that the person who takes the medicine is guided. We do the same with our beers. Our labels clearly explain to the consumer what is in the beer, and you take it when you are fully aware of what you are taking. So we don't take consumers for granted. So that's the first step. And the moment before we put any beer in the hands of the consumer, there is adequate commercial communication, and it always ends with a caution about the product. Specifically, the caution on underage. In some cases, we caution about pregnant women not drinking the product. So there is adequate commercial communication. But we also know that it is not our responsibility at the end of the day to pass on the beer to the consumer. That responsibility lies with our retailers, points of sale, points of consumption. We have, throughout the years, been educating our retailers to believe in the same principles we believe about beer, and to make sure that they do not necessarily just want to make more money, but they care about the lives of the consumers. So in summary, without making this about what we have done, but really about what we intend to do, I just wanted to assure you all that there is no contradiction between this event and our determination to sell more beer if necessary. It is simply that this event is to help our consumers, especially the young consumers, to understand that when you drink, you must drink for the right reason, and you must drink the right quantity and the right quality. So I'll leave it there and really concentrate on thanking you for turning up, and to take the message to all our stakeholders that Nile Breweries stands with the youth, stands with the students, and it's not just about making money, but it's also about protecting lives and saving lives. Thank you very much.
A bigger round of applause for Mr. Onapito. Thank you so much. If you need to add your voice to what we are saying this morning, please go to our socials, use our hashtag BeSmart, DrinkSmartUG, okay? BeSmart, DrinkSmartUG. Just to give you perspective, there's so much happiness that is being produced in Uganda, okay? I like the mantra. The key product is happiness. Up to 37% is brewed in the formal sector. But we also know that there's a lot that is not regulated, that is not watched. And really, this campaign is here to make sure that our young people are responsible consumers, and we are making sure that all these dangerous things that are consumed are not part of this. So I am glad that Nile Breweries has come on board to champion this cause and going to the people to ask them, for you, what is the definition of smart drinking? Usually people will say, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that, but you can see ownership as far as what we are about to launch is concerned. To understand best what this campaign is about, let me welcome Claire. Claire Asimwe is going to come and talk to us. She is the Sustainability Manager at NBL. Welcome, Claire.
Thank you very much, our MC today, our chief guest, our invited guests, our managing director, our director, legal and corporate affairs, the members of the media, and all the invited guests. We welcome you all to this day when we are officially launching a smart drinking campaign here at Protea. So here just to briefly give some details of what this campaign is actually about. So just, this has been inspired by a study that was produced in 2020 by one of the authors, Louis Kamlegea, plus 3 other authors, that highlighted that 86% of students at university are actually consuming alcohol recklessly, and this has made them fall victim of mental health. They have missed school, and it has affected physical and mental health altogether. So upon this background, we have come here to launch officially the longer-awaited event, which we are terming the Inter-University Smart Drinking Challenge. So what is this challenge going to be about, and how is it going to work? That's what I'm going to explain briefly. So how this campaign is going to work, we have partnered for the start with 5 universities. These universities include, number 1, in no particular order, Makerere University, Chambogo University, Kampala International University, Soroti University, and then Bara University of Science and Technology. So those are the 5 universities that we have partnered with for this first edition of this challenge. How these students are going to participate: 1 is to ensure they dial star 252 *3#. It will take you straight to smart drinking, upon which you will enter the university in which you belong, and then submit your registration. So upon that, the people will receive a link that will take them directly to a portal where their ideas can be submitted. So what is it that we are looking out for? We are challenging you, the university students, to generate ideas on how you can support us to save the lives of our fellow students by submitting the best ideas on how alcohol can be consumed responsibly. Us as the brewmasters, we already have tips for you. However, we believe that you as the young generation, you can actually come up with even better, brilliant ideas. So we shall continue our journey, spreading awareness around you, but we appeal to you to submit the ideas that you feel are worth, as long as they're in line with the theme of how the youth can drink responsibly. So that's the basic procedure. How you're going to submit, upon accessing the portal, we are allowing submission in 4 formats. Number 1 being a Word document, which you'll get the details of how many words maximum to upload. We have put a criteria on the portal that you will follow. We have rules and regulations that have also been updated on how the competition will be done. We are also requesting, for those that cannot submit a Word document, you can actually record an audio or a video in 2 to 3 minutes and upload it there. We have selected a panel of judges who are going to scrutinize these ideas, do the vetting, and then we select the most outstanding ideas as per the different universities. So these ideas will be recognized all over, and then we shall have a showdown between the different universities. So like I mentioned, we have 5 universities that will be participating, and we shall have a showdown between the top ideas from these 5 universities. So I think that's brief enough. I hope it clarifies. So upon this, we shall be able to get the winning ideas. The idea is that we are going to promote and execute the ideas that will come through from you, our students. Also, the students, overall, the winner will stand a chance of winning 3 million Ugandan shillings for themselves. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so the overall winner will win 3 million Ugandan shillings. First runner-up, 2 million Ugandan shillings, and then second runner-up, 1 million. And then on top of that, this is not just a campaign about money. It's about the ideas and how these will change the lives of the students. Above all, the students will actually stand a chance to be our ambassadors of smart drinking in the respective universities. This is a good idea and a good opportunity for them to even be able to interact with their future employers. I must say that Breweries is a good employer, and most of us are really proud to work for this company. I remember at campus, when I was in Makerere, I happened to be a chair lady there, and I'm glad some of our invited guests here. At least we used to meet back then. We never used to have such opportunities. The truth is, we used to spend our time mobilizing, Zit Culture Week, things like that, and things that I can say were not that beneficial to us. But for the students out there now, this is a great opportunity. You can sign up and stand a chance to interact with us. And we believe we can be your future employers if you're interested. So please, we call upon you. A good thing, we have representatives from the partnering universities here with us, the guild presidents plus their cabinets, plus all the other ambassadors we have selected to support us throughout promoting this. So we call upon you, the students, to actively participate. Your ideas are welcome and will be greatly appreciated, and they will benefit not only you, but your friends out there. Thank you. Yeah, I remain Claire Asimwe, Sustainability Manager, who also happens to be the project lead of this project. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Claire Asimwe. There you go. Students who are at campus, you can be a part of this challenge, okay? And just to clarify what you need to do to get started with your group mates, your teammates, your buddies that you hang out with. *2 252 star 3 hash. So this can even work on cartouche clear, if someone has a cartouche, which is really a feature phone. Star 252 star 3 hash. Follow the prompts. Go to where you can submit your ideas on how to be involved, how to be a smart drinker, or how to encourage smart drinking. You can submit a voice note. You can also write or do a video, or if you are an artist, you can submit your illustration. We have the judges. They will look at your presentation, and those, of course, who impress, the winner will win 3 million shillings. The first runner-up will win 2 million shillings. The second runner-up, 1 million. We also have other prizes, like phone prizes. So encourage your fellow students who are not here on the call to be a part. And of course, you'll be seeing press and posters and billboards with more of this information. But I want to engage some of our representatives from the university, because when you hear the statistics, I'll start with Professor Mataji. 83% of students are drinking recklessly. That is shocking. The effects psychologically are huge. For the benefit of us here and also members of the press, do you have a picture of what happens? For example, say at Makerere, what are some of the cases that you deal with as far as abuse of alcohol is concerned?
Thank you very much. I'm not yet a professor, but you can call me Dr. Leon Mataji. When you hear those statistics at the university, we may not really blame the university, that maybe the administration or management is not doing a good job. I want to give you the background. Last year, Makerere University Research and Innovation Fund gave us money in School of Psychology to understand the behaviors of primary school pupils and secondary school students in as far as drug and substance abuse is concerned. So we realized that even at primary school level, 15% of those P6 and P7 pupils are taking some alcohol. It may not be, of course, in Nairobi, because that is maybe at a higher level for them, but there are some informal, as you said, informal alcohols in the communities.
Yeah.
Then at secondary school level, we discovered that the boys are at 32% taking alcohols, and then the girls at 18%. Wow. So, but now when you look at a bottle of Nairobi beer, they say don't drink when you are under 18, isn't it?
Yes.
So our sample was actually, all of it was below what? Below 18 years.
Yeah.
So if you see those percentages at secondary school level, these are students who come to the what? The university. Remember, at secondary school, they're still with their parents. They're in boarding schools. They are what?
Protected.
They are protected. Now you just all of a sudden throw them away. They are in the university free with money and no roll call, no timekeeper, nothing. And that's why the university has put in place mechanisms to manage that. And I think they're doing a good job. Yeah. We have a dean of students. We have the director of guidance and counseling. Henry is here. I think what you hear in the findings may give a picture, but I would imagine that the situation is improving. I think Henry is going to talk about that.
Yes.
But you can see why it is like that. So psychologically, we find that actually some students who retake papers, those who drop out, the side cases could be because of what? Because of what? Of that disorganized or irresponsible drinking. And that's why I'm happy for this launch, that even for our study, we talk about abuse, yeah? Because imagine that in Uganda, alcohols legally and they're legal and accept they are products that are legal on the market. But we need to emphasize what? Responsible drinking. That's
Right.
why we have the smart what? Drinking.
Drinking.
Otherwise, the effects, if we're not well managed, could actually bring out bad results. But me, I'm happy that this launch is there. Students are going to be sensitized on how to manage the situation, because in universities, students, most of them, if not all of them, are above 18, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's why this campaign is very important. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let me come to Madam Winnie. You're the Dean of Students. How do you address some of these issues that come up? Because someone may say, while you're equipping, students are actively, for lack of a better word, de-equipping. And by the time they come to the marketplace, it's a mess.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much. And permit me to thank you for this invite. Thank you very much for inviting me to this great event. In Makerere University, we have mechanisms and systems for our students, and most of these mechanisms are preventive and remedial. We have rules and regulations that prohibit irresponsible drinking in disregard of personal health and welfare, and also other supportive interventions like the Guidance and Counseling Center. We have the moral and pastoral support from our chaplaincy and university ma'am. We have our student leaders and also peers. So we are doing a great job. However, we are very glad that you have come up with this initiative, and we think it is a great and radical move for our students. We are excited about this partnership. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to involve Henry, who is in charge of guidance and counseling. Talk to us about the kind of things that you have to deal with, or the cases you hear, yeah? The stories that you hear. What do you have? What do you tell the students?
Thank you very much. Right from the introduction, when we have orientation talks, we tell them about the challenges of over-drinking. For instance, many of you who have been there know about the first days when students are around the university, and some of these companies suddenly bring in the drinks for people to take. But we always have to warn them about taking care of themselves, because normally they are cheaper, and as Dr. Mataji was saying, students are finding freedom at last. And what is going to happen is most of them are likely to abuse it. But because of that prior information, several of them, of course some of them get into trouble, and they come, and some of them actually end up becoming addicted to drinking, and of course they come for counseling to be supported. Some, of course, it even escalates and they have to be taken to rehabilitation facilities. But even when they come back, we continue to support them to bring them back on board. And the reason I would like this campaign is the fact that you are bringing in now students as part of the critical people to champion the campaign, because neuroscientists have found that the young people have very exciting minds that they can come out with the best ideas. And I'm looking forward to coming up with wonderful ideas which are going to help us more in terms of actually drinking smart, because they'll come up with something that is more practical, that talks about them, other than us telling them, or for us we can say whatever we have to say, but when the two of us are working hand in hand, I think this is going to be very helpful. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, for us at KU, we really have the rules set. We give them orientation when they are first years. And in this orientation, we talk about the life at the campus, how to behave themselves, and when it comes to alcohol, especially the first ones who are going to test. Some don't know how to behave themselves when it is the first time. And others, of course, know they have been used to drinking. It is their culture. And first timers, those ones really get problems. So these ones are counseled. We have a university counselor. We have the student leaders. They also talk, especially in orientation. And if at all it comes out of hand, counseling still comes in. And we also have the freshers' ball, for example. We expect beers. And the students, we need to talk to them constantly. And because they are not young, they have their minds now, they want to grow, they want to show us that they have grown, they are adults. Counselors have challenges when it comes to this. But there is constant talking by their peers, especially the group leaders, like the guild president. They keep talking to these runners. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian. My name is Peter Rivan Muhereza. I am the warden in University Hall at Makerere University. There is a radical move we took as a university about drinking and promotion of drinking. I was part of the committee that reviewed the Mitchell Bazaar, the famous Mitchell Bazaar, where Nile Breweries was always a sponsor. And, and there would be trucks of beer for first years at the beginning of the first year. And we realized that actually we were misleading our students. And that committee removed alcohol sponsors from the bazaar. From that time, the bazaar actually is almost dead. While we thought that the bazaar was for selling mattresses to first years who cannot manage downtown, slippers, blankets. It was actually Nile, UG, that were keeping it vibrant. Yeah. But I like the concept of smart drinking because I think I've been a smart drinker. I entered Butovere in 1994 and found no rules. So would get out of the gate anytime you want. If you don't want to attend class, you just change and go to town. And one of the professors, prominent professors, was invited in the board meeting, and they said the students are failing because of drinking. He said, no, 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 no. We drank that center dry, and still passed. I was the best in mathematics. Drinking cannot make students fail. And when I remember what he said, I realized we needed to be smart drinkers. So when I started in S1, I still drink. And I'm not doing badly. Thank you.
I think Dr. Mataj, you missed it in the research. You missed. Yeah, as a former resident of Mitchell, I say, Mitchell X Bazaar, oe, ra, ah. So we are going to bring back the bazaar and NBL. Yeah? Hey. A smart drinking, oe. A smart drinking, oe, ra. If you never went to university, you can't know that. You need to be a smart drinker. Our hashtags are be smart, drink smart. Please use those hashtags. We also have another one called Beramu class, okay? So please use that. Students who are tuning in, please use those to even ask your questions. We have so much to talk about, but of course, our time is quite limited. So I want to invite the Managing Director of Nile Breweries, David Daniel Valencia, to come and talk to us. Are the bazaars in the rest of the world not sponsored by NBL? And how do we encourage smart drinking in Uganda? Welcome.
Thank you, Brian. Good afternoon, or I think good morning still, to everyone here. Hope everyone is doing mighty like the now, like we like to say in our breweries. Welcome to our esteemed guests. Welcome to the media. Welcome to students. Welcome everyone for joining us here today. Thank you again for accepting our invitation to join us today in our Smart Drinking Initiative. Now, breweries, our dream is very simple, is to bring people together for a better world. Through the years, through good times and bad times, we have consistently led the industry through actions, which takes us closer to our dream. But a dream is nothing without actions. For example, on an annual basis, we are part of the Global Beer Responsible Day. We actively invest in our social media campaigns to influence social norms and individual behaviors. You can go to our Twitter accounts. You will see how active we are around responsible consumption. NBL, very proud of this, was amongst the first globally to implement guidance labels in all of our beer products. This was very important because it helped us increase and pass on the message that Onapito was sharing before around alcohol literacy. We were amongst the first globally to do it. We take very seriously our responsibility to reduce and prevent the harmful use of alcohol. We are aligned all the way from a global standpoint down to Uganda with the WHO ambition to reduce the harmful use of alcohol. And we are clear collaborators with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals towards ensuring a healthy lives and promoting well-being for all. One of our CEOs said that beer has been part of cultures around the world for thousands of years. Being here today, it makes me reminisce about my university days. And the reality is that going back in time, I've realized how every time through college and through life, I've also been a smart drinker. And my experience with beer has been a positive one. But we also believe, very importantly, on pursuing the following things. we as leaders have a responsibility to, again, reduce and prevent the harmful use of alcohol. Number 2, never drink when you drive. Number 3, we must help consumers understand how alcohol should be consumed and within what limits. Number 4, we believe that the way we market our products is extremely important, and we must be responsible in how we do so. We believe that our products are not consumed and should not be consumed by underage people. And finally, very important, there is a lot of work to do ahead of us. We try to collaborate with public health experts, researchers, governments, and other partners, and as of today, with students who are willing to help us and work with us so that we can listen and bring better ideas and how we can improve further our progress in these past 5 points I just mentioned. Yes, indeed, the research shared has very strong data points that indicate that a large majority of students are consuming alcohol at universities. But what is really key about this statistic is what actions we take from it. Or what people sometimes say, what is the so what of it? And I think there's two important points that I want to mention here. Number 1, we must continue to enhance legislation towards informal, high ABV, high percentage alcohol offerings, which poses the biggest threat to both the health of Ugandans, but also in the future of our students. Low-priced, small-sized offerings, whom are not tax compliant, should be the major concern and should drive the biggest action moving forward. For us to have a very simple idea on what this means, when a consumer chooses, when a student chooses to drink a 200 ml high ABV spirit, 200 ml, its 40% alcohol content equates to 1.5 to 1.6 liters of beer. Second, and this is the reason why we're here today, we acknowledge that as leaders of the industry and with a portfolio that is based on moderation, our peers are 4.5%, 5.5% on average, we must lead the tough conversation to sensitize on the principles I've mentioned before. And going back to Onapito's message around talking about smart drinking and us, and how does that correlate to our ambition of a better world, but at the same time staying in the business for the next 100 years. Experience says that unless we have tough conversations and bold conversations, then we cannot get to bold solutions. And we've made, and we are making a very powerful statement today in bringing a bold action. I'm very happy to launch today our Inter-University Smart Consumption Challenge with the support of the 5 universities mentioned today. As said, this is a very bold campaign, never done before. We are very, very happy, very excited to hear from students on how we can play a more active role in promoting a culture of smart drinking, responsible consumption. As part of this initiative, we will be pledging close to 200 million shillings for the success of this campaign. Thank you. Please join us in this campaign to change lives, as this is a call to action for everyone, so that we can bring us closer together to materializing our dream of a better world, but very importantly, doing so through smart drinking and achieving our smart drinking global drinking goals. By living these beliefs, both in our lives, at job, outside of work, in schools and communities, we can have certainly a positive impact on individuals and communities we operate in. So to the university students here today, and to the university students out there, this is your time to shine. Take part of this challenge. Let us hear from you. And I call upon you to take part of this initiative, as you not only stand a chance to win, but more importantly, you stand the chance of truly making a difference with your friends, colleagues, and in the world. So thank you all again for coming, and mighty like the Nile.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause for the managing director. A reminder, be smart, drink smart. Beramuchi? Beramuchi? And when we get to the different campuses, a smart drinking goy. A smart drinking goy. Ra. I want to take a couple of questions from members of the press before we call the chief guest. What do you think of the campaign? Also for you, what is your experience when you are in school? What do you see happening out there? You can ask some of your questions. When you have your question, please let me know. I come with the mic to you. We have many students who freedom, the idea of freedom is so that you do whatever you want without any encumbrances. When you are doing your work, what are some of the stories that you see? If you have any questions, please just put up your hand and I'll come to you. Or comment.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Benjamin Namuka from Chimpreports and Kampala Scoop. I'd actually wanted to know from NBL, like, why is the campaign only to the 5 universities? Why? I thought you're targeting, like, you actually should be targeting the whole of Uganda and not only those 5 universities, and we have like quite many of them. And which I would actually want to know which criteria you people are going to use in selecting the overall winner, or that is not yet supposed to be public. Thank you.
Yes. So let me take another one and we answer at once.
Good morning. I'm called Ngabo Emon from UBC TV. Currently, students are at home. I'm just wondering how this campaign is going to work out during these COVID times. Thank you.
Okay. We'll have flow. So students are at home. How is this going to work out? Yeah, because as you know, some of them are even failing to access online classes.
I'm not sure if it is already afternoon, but good afternoon anyway. My name is Edward Kaiwa from New Vision. The smart drinking campaign is not bad at all, but we see that we are looking at students who are consuming refined alcohols like beer. However, majority of these students at university consume illicit alcohol, water, mandule, that kind of stuff. Wouldn't it make a lot more sense if this campaign was married to the fight against illicits? What are you really doing about the illicits? Because I think this is where the actual problem is. The refined beers, first of all, the price is a little bit up, so the consumer thinks twice. The consumer thinks twice before they can actually do it. Sometimes the pocket limits them. but the other alcohols are too cheap. 200 shillings, the guy drinks stupid. So what are you doing about that? Thank you.
Okay, so those are three. Why don't we just say it's illicit alcohol at once? But a student who drinks a mandule is not easy.
Thank you once again. I think I should have started with this. Thank you so much, NBL, for this campaign. I would like to know from you, like, the sustainability of the campaign. How long is it going to run? Like, is it going to be a one-off, or we're going to see this campaign go, like, on and on? Thank you.
Okay, let me ask Flora and Claire to answer some of these questions.
Thank you very much, and I'll just do the microphone pushing business. We'll have some questions answered by Claire and David as well. Thank you.
Thank you for your questions. Maybe I can start with responding to the first one, which was asking about why we have selected the 5 universities. So like they mentioned, this is the first of the kind that we are doing, and we have selected these 5 universities because these are the universities that have accepted to be part of this campaign. So more are going to be enrolled for next year, but for this year, unfortunately, we shall only be taking on participants from these 5 universities. To mention them again, we have Makerere University, Chambogo University, Kampala International University, Soroti University, and then Bara University of Science and Technology. Also, to answer about the criteria we are going to consider, so this has already been formulated. Number 1, we want to look at your creativity. That is going to score about 30% of your idea. Then we shall have execution, how best your idea can actually be executed and practical in our environment. Then we shall have adherence to topic. So the topic here is about how the youth should drink responsibly. So we want you to make sure that your response or your idea actually adheres to the topic that we have. Then the wow factor is also important. We need to get the excitement of what your idea actually is, something that has not been done, or how best you can execute it. So it needs to be unique. And lastly, popularity. So we shall have a session when we shall accept social media participation and how popular we think your idea can actually go in terms of potential to scale, how many people it can actually reach and change lives. So that also is going to be part of the criteria. Something we missed out is in terms of the deadlines. So we have officially launched today. The ideas can be submitted today up to the 30th of September. So beyond 30th September, we shall not be taking on more ideas. Upon that, we shall start the judging process, which will be in the month of October. And then the finale will be towards the end of November. So that's the time we are working with. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And somebody just asked as well about how it will work given the COVID times right now and social media. The good thing about entering into the competition is that you can use a phone that is not smart. So all those with Kabiriti, you're still included in this. We've tried to make this, this campaign as inclusive as possible. So we hope all students who are eligible will actively take part, because we are really looking forward to those great practical ideas. I'll hand over to David. Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you, Flora. Okay, I believe there was a question around our role in informal alcohol or the prevention of that in universities, given that I think if I can restate your question, students are finding themselves with options out there of small-sized offerings and lower price offerings, right? And a lot of these are out there because of the level of informality of the suppliers and producers. And that connects extremely well with what I mentioned in my intervention. When we take a look at what is the real risk from consumers, both from a health standpoint, but also from an education standpoint, it is precisely the smaller sized, lower priced, high ABV, high alcohol content offerings that are everywhere in the market. So what are we doing about this? Well, we are the industry leaders. So we have been actively engaging, as we are engaging today, both to one, create awareness of the problematic, and number two, try to influence so that the adequate legislation is set in place, both from a fiscal standpoint, but also regulatory, so that we can have more competitive pricing in markets, so that we can become an actual alternative for the consumption of moderated alcoholic drinks, in this case, beer. So just to shine here light on a very important matter to us today is the DTS stamp. We have always supported the implementation of tax stamps. We believe is the right way forward. We believe that if done well, it can certainly bring a level of formality to an industry that is amongst the biggest in Africa. However, when we find ourselves in a space where the DTS pricing for spirits reduces in 64% and beer does not, we find ourselves in a problem where our beer becomes less competitive from a price standpoint. And in a sensitive price market like ours, this is what fuels this informal alcohol in the trade, and then obviously affects, in this case, what's in question today, students and universities. So we will continue to engage very actively through different forums like this, like the one prior week at the Economic Forum, 2 weeks ago, pardon me, on the Economic Forum. We will continue to engage with different stakeholders and government offices, including the URA, so that we can together come with the right solution moving forward to, again, bring formality to the industry, but at the same time align ourselves to what we need to accomplish, which is in this case, reducing the harmful effects of alcohol consumption driven by informal and lower priced alternatives in the market. Thank you. Okay, and for now then, I would like to extend the welcome. I would like to introduce our chief invite for today, Mr. Francis Mondo. Pardon me, I have not pronounced your name correctly. I'm still new in Uganda, but welcome, thank you for joining us.
Allow me to adjust my mask so that I can talk to you freely. After all, everybody around me is masked. The testing at other places, mighty as the Nile. You see, I was born a few meters from the Nile, so I get happy when you talk about this. David, the MD Nile Breweries, the Dean of Students, Makerere University, the Dons here present, my longtime friend, Mr. Onapito Okomoroit, popularly known as Ona, the students from the various universities here present, the media fraternity, ladies and gentlemen. I bring you very warm greetings from the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. And I must say, as a ministry and as a department responsible for youth and children affairs, we are excited to be part of this launch. This is not the first activity the Ministry of Gender is having with Nile breweries. We have had a number of engagements, and each year focusing on different things. At first, we thought people would misunderstand us, but we said as long as we are clear about what we want to do, nobody can misunderstand. Because drinking in this country is as old as human existence. And many people, they always say that even Jesus made wine, especially when they want to enjoy the bitter thing. They say even Jesus made wine, which is true and documented within the Bible. So nobody can stop drinking per se. And I like the word being used, moderation. We can moderate. I know where honor comes from. The moment you are born, you start tasting the ajono. And there are so many tribes in here, including the Balangira of Uganda. You know, once somebody is born, you taste. And so the issue is about how you moderate and how responsible you are. So we are happy for the Inter-University Smart Drinking Challenge 2021, geared towards promoting responsible consumption of alcohol amongst the youth of Uganda. Madam Dean of Students, you should also appreciate that the reason these people drink is that they come from drinking communities. So they are not born on planet Mars. They are born and they are seeing people every day drinking and staggering from morning to sunset. And so when you study socialization, you'll understand that many of our young people are socialized to drink. And so we can do little to stop them, but we can moderate. We believe that young people can be more responsible. They can be more disciplined. They can be more conscious, and they can be more calculative in handling alcohol. There are certain words over time that I've heard some young people say as they plan to go and drink. Let me quote some of them. Unfortunately, all of them are in Uganda. And somebody must help David to understand what I'm talking about. One of them is Nkuba Eja. Nywa Nkuba Eja. MC, please. When somebody says Tunywa Nkuba Eja, what do they mean?
We are drinking, the rain is coming.
Omgaga agenda.
The rich man is going.
So you drink very quickly before the rich man goes.
Yes.
Or the other one, tugende tumunywe. This is mostly for the ladies.
Let us go and drink him. Let us go and get everything out of him. Yes.
But I mean, you are 3, 4 girls. You don't know how loaded honor is, and you are saying tugende tumunywe. How much are you going to kunywa? Out of, let me say it's a 1 million bundle. Even if you are going to take one of the most expensive whiskey, or you are unlikely to dent what he has in the pockets. So I think some of the things the counselors and the deans of students, you should help us that there are some people that you cannot drink dry because they have adequate resources, and therefore you are unlikely to dent how much they have. We are looking at the vice of irresponsible drinking and how to curb it in order to produce responsible and accountable citizens. And this is what we have in short supply. We have in short supply responsible and accountable citizens. they are in short supply. The other day, I was reading an article by Simon Kaheru. He normally writes in one of the papers, I think in New Vision. And he was arguing and saying we must change the word VIP. And he had his reasons. And what I want to share with you is that he said, we better change it from VIP, very important people, because we have already done the VVP. You know, Honor was once upon a time handling protocol with the presidency, so he understands all these terms. But he was saying that let's call them VRP, very responsible people. Other than saying very important people, let's say very responsible people. Because some of the so-called VIPs, they may not be as responsible as we think. And so talking about drinking with responsibility and moderation, I think it makes a lot of sense for all of us. And we have no reason not to support, because they are drinking anyway. They are drinking, whether you want to believe it or not. I was chatting with a friend and I said, oh, all along, all the way from my secondary school, primary to university, and if you are a son or daughter of a bishop, you'll forgive me. I found out that the children of bishops and archbishops drink more reckless than any of the children of the pagans. And I was wondering why. And one of the things that come to my mind is that all the time they were told it is a sin. So I think perhaps they wanted to test the sin and see how the sin tests. You know, as young people, they are very adventurous. So every time they tell you, don't do this, you want to do. That's why mothers, when a child wants to touch fire, they say, encourage, let it touch it, as long as it doesn't burn. Then it will know it burns and will never do it again. And so, these children, these youth are drinking. And I see them every day. And perhaps sometimes I want to jump out of my car and say, it is still morning, why are you drinking? But then it means that I will not reach where I'm going. Because you'll find them in every trading center drinking anyway. So out of these, many have dropped out of school because they started drinking early enough, perhaps before the Don, who is the dean of students, the dean of Mitchell, the warden of University Hall. Some of those halls, I was in Livingston, so you'll excuse me to forget the names of some of these. So some of these are very good entertainers during funeral rites. They come and speak very good English. And all the time, they are entertaining the people at the vigil. And to that extent, they are, well, useful because they make you awake. Because when you sleep at the vigil, you have nothing much to do but to keep awake because the rest of the people are awake, and you'll be counted as Msezi if you don't join them. Msezi, for David's sake, it is a witch. So all of you, if you flash your eyes and look at the village where you are coming from, those people are there. I'm sure you can mention 1 or 2 or 3 that if this one attends the vigil, then it's okay. We can spend the whole night there. But is that the reason that they were sent to the university to study, to come and speak very good English at the vigil? Perhaps no. We are not keen at producing more teenage pregnancies. We are seeing that as a cause, drinking excessively is part of the contributors to teenage pregnancy in this country. And I already have 25% teenage pregnancy in this country. Honor, you can save me by not having more. We don't want more. Let me also tell you that majority of the people in subsistence agriculture are again very good drinkers. And we have 39% of the people in agriculture who are peasants and very good drinkers. They wake up very early in the morning, they go and dig, and by 10, they have started either ajono or mandule or whatever you call it. We don't want to add. The other contributor, the other area where alcohol contributes greatly is on gender-based violence, which became even worse during COVID. But we know from World Health Organization that the cost of GBV in this country is 77 billion annually. The cost of GBV in this country is 77 billion. We don't want to add more. This money could be used somewhere else. And if somebody is going to drink throughout his time at the university with all the freedom they have, then they are likely to end up getting married and exercising gender-based violence to their children at home. But also because they grew up seeing mommy and daddy fighting every day, they are likely to do the same. One child was asked by a teacher at school, "Why are you late?" And the child said, "No, don't beat me, it's mommy." And the teacher said, "What does mommy have to do with your coming late?" He said, "Teacher, let me explain." And he explained and said, "You see, mommy was fighting with daddy. And mommy was using one of my shoes to hit daddy. So I could not come to school with one shoe. I had to wait for them to complete their fighting, then I could put on my shoe and go to school." So children are seeing whatever you do and they take on, they copy and they apply what you do. We are looking for innovations, seeing the energies of drinking diverted into other activities, like sports and games, like music, dance, and drama. And I always encourage the young people out there to say, if you have no way of spending your time, which we call free time, find a sporting activity, finding a music, dance, and drama activity. And you know you can develop from there to become the Cheptegei, to become the Chemutai, and you earn a V8 without wasting a lot of time. You see, I was reading about Messi the other day, and I found out that Messi earns 260 billion every week. The former Prime Minister of the UK would say that's obscene money. I mean, what do I do with 280 billion shillings every week? Where do you invest it? What do you do with it? But it's there. So by diverting the energies of the young people from drinking to doing something else, perhaps playing basketball, perhaps doing something different. Okay, take 1 or 2, because you know, as a civil servant, Nairobi Brewers must contribute towards my salary, and if people don't drink, then I have no salary. So to that extent, yes, drink something, but don't drink too much to the extent of becoming useless in terms of productivity and in terms of contributing towards the socio-economic transformation of the country. Constructive engagement is what we are looking for, and that for us will make a lot of difference. Use your creativity and innovation to give us solutions on how alcohol can be consumed in safe amounts. The Baganda would say, omwenge si mubi, naye abagunywa bebakola ki? Bebagumaking okuba nti mubi. That drinking is not bad, it is those who drink who make alcohol look dirty, stupid, and hopeless. It's like politics, where people say politics is dirty. Politics may not be dirty. It's people who play politics who perhaps many times make it look ugly. And in this campaign, managing director, we should also accompany it by things to do with soft skills, giving the young people some soft skills. And this also goes to the dons. I don't know how often you talk to these people. I don't know how many times you do actually. But you know, helping them choose their friends, helping them look for a hobby, helping them get to know when to say no, and say no to mean no. All these things I think are important. Human capital wastage is too high and likely to become worse as COVID-19 pushes on. I was reading in the New Vision and was saying that universities have been cleared, about 80% of universities have been cleared to use online. And you can imagine these children who are not going to be supervised by anybody, they are online, they can log in and go and do something else. And so, I don't know what you're going to do, dealing with students, but it's becoming worse and worse every day. And what we do today will perhaps contribute towards making us ready to ensure that people can drink in moderation. And one can say, that's impossible. When the drinks are there, I must make sure I've cleaned everything. The drinks are on table, how do I live? And somebody can say, it's impossible. No, yes, we can. Because these young people are not animals. They can be influenced. It is Steve Jobs who says that it is people who are smart enough, who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world who do. I think in Nairobi breweries, you are one of those crazy people who think you can bring sanity into the young people's brain to drink in moderation. And I'm saying, yes, it can be done.
Recording in
It's
progress.
not impossible. Human beings tend to look at everything that has never been done as being impossible. No, it is possible. Steve Jobs says, and I repeat, that it's people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world who do. And for the young people, don't think that the world owes you anything. It is Einstein who says that the world does not owe you anything. The world was here before you. And if anything, you owe a lot to the world by leaving it better than you found it. Leaving a legacy that the Dean of Students talked about. Because you see, some of you give a lot of headache to people during burial. Yes, when you have to find something good to speak about the dead and you can't find it and you lie. And so he has been a very good person. Good at what? So can you hope to do something good within your university hall? Can you change a number of young people in the university hall to become moderate drinkers? You know, I fear to say abandon completely because I'm seated near David, because he's here to sell, and on a pit of my old friend. So to drink in moderation. You can, yes you can. And you know, once you change the mind of that one, know that there are a number of people who are going to depend on this person. Because sometimes you find he's the only person who has ever gone to the university. So if we have him wasted and thrown away and becomes those people who sing during funeral rites, then that's not good enough. I want therefore to pledge the commitment of our ministry, the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, and through the ministry, the commitment of government to cherish your corporate social responsibility in ensuring that much as you sell happiness, happiness must be enjoyed in moderation. And that the people, once they jump over that, then that no longer becomes happiness. Because if you're going to find yourself in the gutters the following day, or finding yourself without your knickers and you don't know how they were removed, then that ceases to be fun. So the word moderation is what I take from this meeting that it's important for young people to learn to moderate their happiness, to moderate whatever they do, and to live happier lives and to be able to achieve. Once again, I want to thank you for having invited me, and I want to declare this campaign officially launched. I also know that you'll consider extending it. I was reading through the materials, it was talking about 2 months. Somebody asked for how long, is it sustainable? 2 months may be, David, on the, let's talk about it and see that 1 year may make a lot of meaning. Thank you very much. God bless you. I thank you.
Thank you. Another round of applause, a bigger round of applause. Thank you so much, Commissioner. We absolutely don't take your presence here for granted. As you've heard, we are the crazy ones and we are doing the impossible possible. Yeah? I want to quickly just recognize a couple of people who are here. Jacob Musimenta, where are you? Please raise your feet. Jacob is the Guild President of Kampala International University. Welcome. Where is Claire Namara? Claire Namara is the Vice Guild President of Chambogo University. Thank you for coming. Noela Awal. Noela is the Vice Guild President of Makerere University. We also have from Chambogo, Administrator, Mr. Lawrence Rugalavu. Yes, thank you so much for coming. These are participating universities, and we absolutely don't take for granted your presence here. I want us to look at the screens. We're going to watch something that also describes what this campaign is about.
Excessive drinking continues to be problematic for the youth and young adults in Uganda. It is reported that Uganda's youth consume an alarming 9.5 liters of alcohol per year. Today, excessive drinking continues to be problematic for the youth and young adults in Uganda. It is reported that Uganda's youth consume an alarming 9.5 liters of alcohol per year than their counterparts in Kenya, Tanzania, Burundi, and Rwanda. 86% of students above the age of 21 years consume alcohol recklessly, with many eventually falling victim to mental illness. Several youths are choosing to abuse alcohol at the expense of their school performance and attendance. This shouldn't be you. At Now Breweries, we believe every experience with beer should be a positive one, or better yet, a smart one. We care about your future. Be smart. Drink smart.
Yes, you see the statistics, and what we are going to witness now is our partners and stakeholders sign on this, and we all pledge to be partners, right? All right. So we are going to see our partners sign. Mr. Mondo, Commissioner Mondo. That's our pledge. you. Let me welcome also from, yes,
ekibuga ku mutwe gwange nze kabaka kati twezimbe enengule ku
as long as
mutwe
it's not
gwange
signature for money.
nze kabaka of the midnight
Henry.
tribe.
Also, the student leaders, please come up and join us.
masoka mbaleriba ku wifi kibuga change kindi mu musayi true story simba walai nazalibwa kubuka like a body mateka kuangula buli award fresh white always happy never sad ndabuse make proper run man yeah omuliro kumye mu kiyungu abe mitima mibi mukosa mungu ndi mu bilesa ye yanga mpungu fena tuchimanye mu rap ndi mu konge yeah pita kabaka wo mulembe guno kampala kirabo tuzichoka runo byachuka kati abana basinagano young and rich happy people.
Right, so if we, students pledging, signing.
This is a dream that I had from ever since. If you wanna see, let me take you to the sea. I have a dream and I'm living in a dream. I see a demon
Okay.
on the wind.
Let's have
that I had from ever since. If you wanna see, let me take you to the sea.
Claire, I think, should also sign. Fantastic. Let's have a photo here with where the student leaders please come.
Fresh. I know your butter. I know your heart. I know your butter.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, student leaders, please come back and we take some more photos here. Just a couple of these as our champions. Yes. Stand on the stage.
Fresh.
Okay, student administrators, please come also. Yes, deans, dons. Let's join the students. The students should stand down. The administrators should come here. Sips over chugs. Remember, we want this to be a culture, all right? Smart drinking should be a culture. We don't just want to be responsible. This should be every day. The way you wake up and go to your workplace, it's the same way we want this to be wherever we are. So get on board with the campaign. Start now. The mechanics are out there. Launch it to your other smaller groups that you're part of, your faculties, your colleges, and let's build a culture of smart drinking. All right? Fantastic. Members of the press will have interviews outside with some of the people that you want to talk to. Go on and be smart drinkers. Our hashtag is be smart. Drink smart, you better class. Better muchi, class. And as Nile Breweries, we couldn't be any proud of you for being a part of this. Thank you so much for joining us. And from us to you, stay safe. Remember,